Hello dear learners, welcome to Learn Microbiology. To this another video. In this video, we will going to study about the regulation of gene expression in prokaryotes, the operon model. Okay, so we will study what is the meaning of gene expression and how it is expressed, and that expression is regulated using the operon model in prokaryotes. Let's get started. Let us understand what is the meaning of gene expression. Let us consider a gene A. This gene undergoes a process called as transcription, and it is encoding an mRNA A, which is corresponding to gene A. Then in the next part, this mRNA A is going to get converted to protein A in a process called as translation. So, in these processes of transcription and translation, a gene which is found in the DNA is getting converted to an RNA molecule and then to protein, which is functional protein. This is called as expression of a gene. The expression of a gene, that is transcription and translation, is a highly regulated process. What do we mean by the regulated process? It means that the cell is going to decide if it has to express gene A depending on the need of a cell. If the cell needs this protein A, only then it is going to undergo the process of transcription of gene A to form the mRNA A and then the protein. When this protein is not needed, if the bacteria goes on producing the protein, then it is a waste of energy and resources. That is the reason why there is a process called as regulation of gene. In this process, this bacteria can either allow the expression of a gene or it can block the expression of a gene. So when the cell does not need protein A, then it can block the expression of the gene. So let us understand how this regulation of gene takes place in bacteria through this operon. Now first we need to understand what is an operon. Okay, so bacterial genes which code for proteins of similar functions, means there are some genes which will produce proteins having similar functions. Okay, these genes are organized into clusters. So the genes which are going to be functional for same function, they are under a same cluster and under the control of a same promoter. Now promoter is the driver of the gene expression. This is called as an operon. So to understand this better, let's take an example. Let's consider this to be a gene 1 which is present in bacteria, and we can see adjacent to this there is gene 2 and then the gene 3. Now why these 3 genes are together is because they are going to produce the proteins which have similar functions. Okay. Secondly, these genes should be under the control of a same promoter, only then you can call them as an operon. So as you can see here, you have the promoter. So what is going to happen next? how is gene expression going to take place using this operon? Now when the genes of same function are kept together under the same promoter, these genes get transcribed together to produce a polycistronic mRNA, and then they can form 3 different proteins. So let us watch this animation and understand how the gene expression of an operon is going to take place, and then we will study how this operon is regulated. So the transcription, you need an important enzyme which is called as RNA polymerase. So this RNA polymerase is the driver of transcription. It is going to bind to the promoter region. Then once it is bound to the promoter region, RNA polymerase is going to initiate transcription like this. So it's going to move through gene 1, then gene 2 and gene 3. So as you saw, it went through these genes. What has happened is there is a formation of something over here, and this is called as polycistronic mRNA. So this is that mRNA which is formed, and as you see, the mRNA of these 3 genes are together. That's why it is called as polycistronic. It has an mRNA consisting of 3 genes. As you can see, the mRNA of 3 genes are together, so it is called as a polycistronic mRNA. So once you get this mRNA, so what will be the next process? You all know that, correct? It's translation. So for translation, we need another molecule which is called as ribosome. Now ribosome is a part of cell organelle which is consisting of 2 subunits. As you can see, a larger subunit and a smaller subunit. They come together and now they are going to convert your mRNA and going to produce proteins. So let us watch this animation. Your ribosomes goes and bind to our mRNA, and as it is undergoing translation, we can find there is a formation of 3 different proteins. As you can see, protein 1 which is encoded by gene 1, then protein 2 encoded by gene 2 and protein 3 encoded by gene 3. So this is the gene expression of an operon. One thing I need to make you understand here, that operons are only found in prokaryotes. Okay, so why the bacteria has this operon? Because of this operon, it can perform transcription translation and you get 3 protein products of these 3 genes together at the same time. So this reduces the wastage of time as well as energy in a prokaryote. That's why in bacteria you can find operons where genes of which are encoding proteins of similar functions are kept clustered together under the control of a same promoter, which is the driver. Okay. Now we have understood gene expression. We need to understand about the gene regulation. Remember, the cell wants that these 3 proteins need to be formed by the process of transcription and translation only when these proteins are absent. Right? It do not want these proteins to be synthesized when they are already abundantly present in the cell. Correct? So, when these proteins are abundantly present in the cell, the bacteria needs to block the transcription and translation. That is, it has to block the gene expression. Similarly, when these proteins are absent, then this gene has to be activated. Bacteria needs that these genes should be transcribed and translated, and it needs to get these proteins only when they are not present. So how does this bacteria make this conclusion? How does it come into this conclusion that yes, now I want these genes to be transcribed, and no, I don't want this gene to be transcribed? So as we read in the previous slide, that this gene regulation is very highly regulated. So that is what we need to study. Okay. So let us learn a little bit more in detail about this operon in this next slide. This operon model of prokaryotic gene expression, gene regulation, it was proposed by Francois Jacob and Jacques Monod in 1961. So it is also called as Jacob and Monod model. And what is this operon made of? Basically, operon contains structural genes. Now, what are the structural genes? These are the genes which give you proteins. Like in the previous example, the gene 1, gene 2 and the gene 3, these are known as the structural genes. It also contains the promoter, where your RNA polymerase will bind and initiate transcription, and it also contains the operator. Now this is a new term, right? We haven't came across this term before. We will learn about in detail. Other than these things, your operon is also regulated by certain regulatory genes. So there are some regulatory genes which are present upstream to these structural genes, which is going to influence the gene expression. So basically, if to summarize, you can find in an operon structural genes which encode products like enzymes or proteins. Then you will have a promoter sequence where your RNA polymerase is going to bind and it is going to initiate the transcription of the structural genes. It is going to contain the operator. Now, this operator is the negative regulatory site. Means if the cell want to block transcription, if it has to block the transcription, it takes the help of this operator sequence. There is one protein called as the repressor protein. So the cell is going to synthesize this repressor protein which will bind to this operator sequence, and thereby the transcription is blocked. Correct? Next, operons also contains certain activator binding site. Now these activator binding site are positive regulatory site. It means if the cell wants that this particular operon should be activated, then it is going to synthesize certain proteins which are called as these activator proteins, and these activator proteins will activate the transcription. It will activate the operon. So thus you can see this operator and activator, this is just like an on-off switch, right? Which are influenced by proteins like repressor and activator which binds to it. Other than that, you can also find a regulator gene which is going to regulate the gene expression. These are the genes which code for your activator as well as your repressor protein. See, repressor and activator, they are also proteins. So there are some gene sequence which code them, correct? So that particular gene sequences are called as regulator genes. Getting it? Okay, so I think lot of concepts we just went through and it might be jumbling in your mind. So let's summarize all this. For that, I just have an analogy for you or an example for you in the next slide. Okay, what's this? It's a It's you can see a good scenery over there. There is moonlight. Now this is actually a railway line where your trains go. If you can, I hope you can identify that. So here are the 3 coaches of a train. So can somebody tell me what is the function of a train? Very simple, right? Train is actually a vehicle which is used to transport passengers or some goods from one place to another place. Correct? But can this train, you can see there are 3 coaches. This is coach number 1, coach number 2 and coach number 3. They all are connected together. Can these 3 coaches by itself perform its function? What is the function? Transporting passengers and goods. The answer is no. There needs to be somebody to allow or to initiate this. You might be wondering that these 3 coaches of a train is resembling your 3 genes of the operon. Remember, we had gene 1, gene 2 and gene 3 in an operon model. Isn't it looking similar? Right? These genes in an operon model, they are going to encode structural genes. They are going to encode the proteins. Right? They will form proteins. Protein 1, 2 and 3. Correct? But can they do it by itself? No. Can a train coach run by itself? No. It needs what? It needs an engine. Correct? You can see an engine. So when this engine goes and connects to your train, only then this train can move. So this engine represents the promoter sequence. Isn't it looking similar now? You having a promoter and then you have these 3 genes. We can call it as an operon now. Correct? Now tell me, can the train move? It has got the engine. Still there is something missing. What is that? Look here. The driver. Right? There needs to be somebody to sit in the promoter and drive. And who is that? That is your RNA polymerase. As we saw in the animation in the last slide, that RNA polymerase should bind to the promoter. And only then it can allow or initiate the transcription of these structural genes. Right? So now our train is all ready to go to its destination. But why the train isn't moving? There is everything, right? But there is still something lacking. Can you all see here? You can see the signal stand. This signal stand represents your regulatory sequences. Regulatory sequences. So we have seen there are sequences like operator, which is going to negatively regulate. Right? Similar, there is sequences called as activator binding site. I just read it as ABS, where your activator protein is going to bind and this will positively regulate. Correct? So this is nothing but your signal stat. So our operon is ready to move, but it is still waiting for a response from this regulatory sequences. So tell me, what should be the signal if the train has to move? It should be a green signal. You are correct. So as you can see, once the signal is becoming green, the train has started to move. So this green signal is nothing but, the green signal that is here is nothing but your activator protein. It represents the activator protein. So as you saw, the train stopped. Why did the train stop? Because there is now a red signal. So this red signal represents your repressor protein. So if this repressor protein bind to the operator sequence, it will stop the transcription. Similarly, an activator protein, when it's bind to the activator binding site, it will promote the transcription. So to summarize what all we learned in this video, transcription takes place and then translation takes place and you will get your protein. This is called as gene expression. But this gene expression is under the control of certain regulatory sequences that is called as gene regulation. So this regulatory sequence, they can either regulate transcription positively or negatively. So when there is a repressor protein binding to the operator site, then the transcription is going to be regulated in a negative manner. That is, transcription is blocked. How it is blocked? Because your RNA polymerase cannot initiate the transcription. Second, to start the transcription, you require certain activator proteins which will bind to the activator binding site and positively regulate the transcription. So in the next coming video, we will study about in detail the negative regulation as well as the positive regulation with the examples of different types of operons. So stay tuned. If you like this video, don't forget to share it to your friends and do subscribe to the channel.